What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe, hype. Yo, so the backlash continues. I was flapping through I guess X, Twitter, whatever yesterday after I uploaded yesterday's video, and I was like, let's see what's going on, right? Boop, boop, boop. And every post was about the no physical discs. Every post. So many different companies, corporate accounts that have nothing to do with video games are here clowning PlayStation. Now, I said that yesterday, but it has exploded to a point where I'm like, I don't know if people will forget this. It's kind of like what happened with Concord, the greatest failure in the history of video games. So I think Sony's strategy was, Xbox has this bad news. Let's dump our bad news real quick, and then it's not even a big deal. It's just physical. Nobody cares about it. They don't even buy that anyway. They didn't realize, literally, the foundation of the success of PlayStation to where they are today is about physical discs. Just go back to 2013. They said everything that they said in 2013 is opposite now. Everything they said back there, you have the disc, you can give it to your friend, you can boo boo, or keep it forever. Not anymore. And so people remember that because that was the pinnacle point. That was the pivot when Xbox lost. That's when they lost. When Jack Tretton went out on stage and said all those things. After Shuhei and Andrew Boys did the real things. After that, Andrew said, brah, and did the final suplex and finished Xbox off. He said everything opposite of what Xbox was doing, and everybody cheered, and yay, and Sony won. They automatically won right then and there, right? And so now PlayStation is doing the exact opposite of that. And everyone is reacting in kind. They're reacting the way they should be. I'm surprised that all these ponies and donkey unicorns are actually speaking up, because usually they'd be like, oh, it's fine, oh no, I don't even buy physical anyway. They would have said that, but not anymore, and then you look at the stores and the like GameFly, I don't care about GameFly, GameStop, all these physical things besides the the historical preservation of the medium. It's a whole bunch of things. So here's the thing. They're not going to reverse. People are wondering, are they going to reverse? And that's what the hope is for these donkey unicorns and ponies. That's what Porter Rock is hoping. Are they going to reverse? Are they going to reverse? No, they're not, because they made 3% when they just announced this. They said, yeah, no. Then the shareholders were like, cool beans, and then they're like, all right, y'all are happy? Yes, okay. Just close the window, close the shades. Let's not turn the radio up so we don't hear all the yelling of. They're not paying attention to y'all. So Sony's strategy was to announce it now, so that when something comes around, as far as no digital game or whatever, or something like, if they were like releasing a PlayStation 6 and then they announced this at the same time, nobody would buy the PlayStation 6. No pre-orders. Same thing that happened at the Xbox One launch. So they said, no, we're not going to do that, right? So they put a nice big buffer between this and then their next release, which is Wolverine in September. So the important thing for us to do, and I was listening to Rand and Jez, and basically he said the only thing, people are like unsubscribing to PlayStation Plus, but that's not even the main thing. It hurt them a little bit, but not really. They said, cancel your pre-order for Grand Theft Auto 6. And I was like, now here's the thing. Cancel the PlayStation version of Grand Theft Auto. Buy it on Xbox. Buy it on Xbox. That would really hurt them a lot, because they'd be like, oh snap, the Xbox version sold more. Oops, And so he's kind of right, because the only way, if you're going to vote for your wallet, that's the only way you can kind of protest, is to not buy their stuff. And so when Wolverine comes around, only buy the physical. That's not gonna see the problem with the problem with doing anything. They can't reverse it because they've already started changing their factories over to other processes, other manufacturing items. Like I think they're manufacturing lenses or something for, I don't know, maybe phones, or I don't know what optical lenses or they're doing. But yeah, it's too late. It's gonna happen. And so now, Jez and Rand, they're like, what can Xbox do? What can Xbox do? And we kind of went through that. And Xbox, like I said last video, I said, look, I know they're gonna do something, but like what? I believe Tom Warren said, because Jez said, yeah, they're probably not gonna have a disk drive on the Helix, right? That was old information. Tom Warren had some new information, basically saying that, it's up in the air. They haven't nothing has been set in stone. So, which means they didn't have a plan for it, but now they're looking at what's going on. Asha's sitting there like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. We, the Mats, come here, the Mats. That's what she calls the both of them. The Mats, come here to my office, the Mats. And then, and you too, Jay. Don't try to sneak away. You gotta figure this hardware out, bro. He's like, yes, my queen. He's like Merlin, and she's the Empress. Anyway, and so, look, make it look. Look, if the console looks sexy, you make a little attachment that looks sexy, you slap it. Look, it's not even impossible because they did it on the 360. Remember the HD DVD drive that I bought? A lot of people bought. It came with King Kong. Remember that? That was a USB drive that plugged into the back of your 360. They could do that now on a Series S if they wanted to, but why? And I would say the main reason why is because it's like the whole Blu-ray and all that stuff, and this consortium, and Sony's part of that consortium, so they would actually be paying Sony for part of that licensee of the technology, blah blah blah. So, and I don't think Xbox, I don't think Asha wants to give Sony any extra money, but in this instance, if they would allow a certain spec, or any really, actually it would be any Blu-ray player to plug into your Xbox, boom, and it would read the disc and then give you the license. And that's basically how it would work anyway. That's how it works now. Because like if you have a disc, like an old like backwards compatibility game, you throw it in your Xbox right now today, and it reads it and it downloads the digital, pulls it from the server, and so you don't use the disc. This is just a license key basically. And so it'd be the same thing with this project not Proton. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but yes, the digital physical disc to digital transfer license thing. And so with that, they can how I understand how it works is it's that, but if you take that disc and you give it to your friend or something, and your friend puts it in their Xbox and it goes online, it'll cut off your license, and then that wherever the disc is that Xbox has the license basically, and that profile has the license, because a while ago Xbox started putting unique codes on each disc, so each disc is a unique item, and that's how they can keep track of it. Like, oh, that's number blah 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 blah, boom, that's to this guy, but so I was always wondering, I was like, what, how do I guess they would have to have a way, like a code on each disc, identification code basically. And they've been doing that all this generation and part of last generation, most of the last generation too, Xbox One generation. So that's not an issue, and that's why that program only works for Xbox Series and Xbox One, because they didn't do it before then. So so you would still need a disc for older games. Anyway, I think that the whole, like, I mean, the backwards compatibility stuff is cool and everything, but if they want to employ that, like I would say, I would say it would be cool if they would make their own first party in-house attachment to, design wise it'll look similar to whatever the Helix is going to look like, and it'll maybe a stack on top, tower of power, how like the Genesis did back in the day. But worst comes to worst, you throw in a third party one on the back, boom boom boom, and it's just, you're not going to have it there forever. But I'd probably buy the Xbox branded joint, or maybe they do like a Asus, or maybe some other. They would, you know what? That's what they would probably do. They'll probably go to, I don't know, Samsung or somebody and say, yo, let's make some DVD Blu-ray players and just slap an Xbox logo on it like they did with Asus and call it a day. That way they don't have to worry about the manufacturing that much, and you just license out the thing and boom, boom, boom. And it's a generic Blu-ray player, so it could work on a PC, which I don't know why you would have that, but still, some people need it. Like I went to have a calcium scoring. It's a thing they put you in the MRI machine and goes pow, and makes all the noise and stuff. And I'm not claustrophobic, so it ain't about me. I was just like, this is cool. It's a big old magnet. And then they did it, and then they like, you want the thing? You want the CD? I'm like, CD? What year is this? This was this year. I'm like, really? 2026? Y'all giving out CDRWs? It's like, I said, okay, it's not extra. It's like, no, it's just okay. Give it to me. And I have it. I haven't even looked at it because I'm like, wait, how am I supposed to look at this thing? I'm gonna put it in my Xbox. No, I gotta like pull out my old freaking laptop to see whatever is on it. So that's gonna be fun. But anyway, it is becoming an antiquated technology, but I think this, like the Helix, if they do it, which they should, Asha, do it. I know it'll cost an extra 10, 20, 50, 15, whatever it is, because if the console is going to be $1,200, somebody said this, the extra $20 is nothing. Just do it, because it's more about the collectors. It's more about it's about the sentiment behind it. It's not about, is it cost effective? We're trying to save every single cent off of extra cost. No, you need to sometimes, like Matthew Ball, he said, I know we're gonna lose some money. You talk about the exclusivity stuff. We're gonna lose some money, but you gain, fans. You gain more in sentiment and goodwill than saving whatever couple of dollars, and that goes a long way. And so Xbox has a unique opportunity because PlayStation messed up. They messed up bad. I didn't think it was a big mess up. I was just like, it logically, you look at the numbers and you look at the behavior and all this stuff, and you're like, yeah, it makes sense. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about common sense. We're not talking about logic. We're talking about emotions. We're talking about, I'm a collector. I've been collecting since 1978. Is that true? I've been collecting since 1983. When did Sega Master System come out? I'm so mad at myself. I don't know what I did, where I got rid of my Sega Master System. I have a Master Converter, and I have a couple of Genesis, so I can still use my Sega Masters. I can still use the games, but I'm still mad. I really did like the original Sega Master System. The design, the red and the black with the light, is a really cool looking. You look at that. You look at the NES. Looks like a cinder block, like a piece of look like a tissue dispenser. Anyway, see, I'm going back to one of the original console wars, cause this one is crazy. Anyway, so I'm a collector, right? And I would like to keep collecting. Now, I'm collecting Xboxes. I have 2 OG Xboxes. I gave one away. I have one. So I bought a modded. I didn't realize it was modded, but there was one in a thrift store down here, and I was like, oh, look, it's an Xbox. How much is it? Like $20? It was like $20. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. And then I looked at it, I was like, wait a second, what's this? It had like some dipsticks in the front, like dip switches in the front, like, I was like, oh, okay. I turned it on, I was like, oh, this got some stuff. But it only had like an 8 gig hard drive, so You can put about 20 games on it. I think it was 8 gigs, yeah. Anyway. So, 2 OG Xboxes. 1 360 with the HD DVD, obviously. Just for Xbox. I have 2 OG Xbox VCRs and 1 Xbox One X. And I have the Xbox Series S, and I have the Xbox Series X, and I have the ROG Ally Xbox White Boy Edition, and that's just Xbox. So then I got a PlayStation 1 thrift store joint, $20. Let's go. It's like brand. It's not even yellowing. I'm like, how is this? This is like a pristine console. I think the only problem is that, wait, does it have the RCA jacks? Or there were 2 different versions of the original PlayStation, and one has better audio output. I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, I got that. I think it came with Gex was in it or whatever. I was like, I don't care. I got that. I got a PlayStation 2. I got it at a garage sale for $20 with a Guitar Hero, one of them. It was in there. I was like, oh, great. I don't have a guitar. I don't care. So, and it was the smallest, the little PlayStation 2. I was like, all right, cool. I had a PlayStation 3, gave it away. And I don't have any other PlayStation stuff. I was like, blah. I think I have a broken Vita. Oh, no, broken PSP. I have a broken PSP. When I say broken, it's broke, like somebody ran over it and stuff. And I tried to plug it in and nothing. I think the screen lit up, but yeah, it's really messed up. Anyway. And then I could go, let's see, I got an NES. It's not the original. My brother had the original. And I just picked that one up. I forgot where. It's probably a swap shopper or something. NES. Oh, I forgot the Dreamcast. Damn. Oh, that's Sega though. Okay, so Sega, I don't have a Sega Master. I have the Sega Master converter for the Genesis. I have the original Genesis Model 1, which is the best one. I have a Model 2, which was my brother's, but he gave it to me. And that's the one I use. No, I think I have to use the Master converter. Only works on the first. I think it might work on the Model 2, but it definitely works on the Model 1 because that's what it was designed for. I used to have the Genesis Model 1, the Mega CD, the one on top, and the convert. I was like, yo, I had the Tower Power, but I sold my Genesis and the CD for like $200. I don't know what I did. That was the worst thing I ever did. And all the games too. I was so mad. There was a few gems in there that I was like, oh shoot, man. Core made a couple of games. I was like, yo, Soul Star, I think it was called. Crazy nice. Anyway, so I got a Saturn, obviously. Hello. I have a Game Gear, but it's broken. The screen's messed up. But yeah, I have a Saturn. I got a bunch of games. I got a bunch of Yu Suzuki games because they started putting them out there. I guess Space Harrier. I got the Sega Ages collection, the first one. So Space Harrier, Outrun, Afterburner. I think it's those 3 games. And I ended up buying the 3DS XL, only because they had the Sega Ages Volume 2 3D whatever, and it had Galaxy Force and Power Drift and some other games. And I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere. I misplaced it or somebody stole it or something. But I'm like, oh man, I had to find that thing. It's cool. Like seeing Galaxy Force in 3D. That's pretty dope. Anyway, Sega. Yeah. So that Saturn, boom, Dreamcast, best console. Is pretty good. Dreamcast, and then yeah, that's basically all the. I mean, I have an Amiga 500 that still probably works. I need to go in and fix it. I think I broke the pins on one of the expansion. I put an expansion chip for extra memory, and it does help, but it's like 512 megabytes. I think no, I don't even think it's that much. Let me stop lying. Anyway, it's yeah that. And what else do I have? Trying to think. I think that's about it as far as console stuff. I mean, and I have all the games associated with those consoles. I'm probably forgetting something. I had a few games for the Amiga. Amiga was a beast, though. Amiga was really a cool game. Like the sound and stuff, ridiculous. That's the computer I started doing music on. I wish I could find the one track. I did one track on that Amiga. I don't know where. I still have all the discs through the little three and a quarter, I think they are. And it's on there. The MIDI information's on there, but the sounds aren't because I didn't bounce it to wave. So I was like, oh shoot. Hopefully, and I don't label my tracks, which is I should label them. But now I bounce it to wave right away, so I don't really need to label them. I mean, it's good for organization, but I don't need to. It's just faster not to. Yeah, I'll label them afterwards if I want. If somebody needs to look at it, I'll label it. If I'm working with somebody, I'll label it. Anyway, sorry for the tangent, but yes. I got a couple of emulation things. I have like the 36RS, whatever it's called, and it's like a little Game Boy, but just says all the emulation on it. I was like, ah, cool. And I got a little hard drive thing that has a bunch of emulation stuff on it. I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll mess. I haven't even messed with that, but and eventually I'll build my own little arcade custom with the, basically a Yu Suzuki arcade machine, basically. Maybe I'll put Shenmue on there too, but probably not. I just want the arcade stuff. Something still magical about arcade. Not so much anymore because, like, back in the day, it was like, yo, arcade was like so much more powerful than you go home and play NES. It's like bleep bloop bleep bloop bloop bleep bloop. Then you go to arcade, it's like, you're like, whoa, that's cool. But anyway, yeah. I am a collector, and I would like to keep collecting, and the whole physical disc thing is part of it. But like I said last video, and this will be the last thing, there's a solution, and the solution is you can cut down on physical discs, but just make it something special. Make it a collector's edition, like the name denotes, So it's like, yo, I'm a collector. I'm gonna get the collector's edition, and the collector's edition better have a freaking Blu-ray up on in there. Even if the whole game, you know what? The collector's edition should have the entire the game goes gold. The entire game up to that point is on it. No, there's 39 megabytes and then you go download it off a server. No. I want the whole game. I don't care if it's multiple discs. That's your problem. What I had heard is that they're doing a lot of compression stuff, so the next gen consoles will have high compression so they can fit more data on as far as the game. So the games will be smaller but still have, compress out. I guess that's, I don't know if that's resolution or something. Like if they have all native 1080p, let's just say, for example, if they all have native 1080p resolution, that's lower than 4. That's 4 times less size and data than 4K, right? So then, that might help. That might actually do it, and then, AI is going to upscale it to 4K or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's the solution. I don't know. But anyway, sorry for the ramble. I appreciate your action. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the ongoing craziness that is PlayStation stepping on the biggest rake in history, outside of Concord, obviously. Yeah. Are you gonna buy a PlayStation 6? Are you gonna Are you gonna cancel your PSN like your boy MBG did? Are you gonna cancel your pre-order for Grand Theft Auto 69? Are you gonna do anything? Are you just gonna be like, yeah, that's messed up, and then just keep on moving, just keep on buying and stuff, right? Is that what you're gonna do? Don't do that. Be a consumer. Don't be a good consumer, like your boy Reforge likes to say. Be a angry consumer. Be I was gonna say horny. That's not the word I was looking for. Just let your medulla oblongata go cry. Words. I'm tired. I'm sorry. But yeah. So this is an ongoing thing. What we need to do as Xbots and as gamers in general, we need to keep reminding Twitter. We need to keep reminding YouTube. We need to keep up the dialogue about how messed up this is. And like I said, Sony's not going to change their decision. They're just going to hope that people are going to forget about it, and then the next big thing's going to come out, and then everybody's going to focus on that. But it's up to us to keep the boot on the donkey unicorn's tail so they don't go nowhere. They're staying right there where they said it, and we gonna be like, I remember when you said it, hee haw. No. Remember when you said that you... Okay, then. That's what's going to happen. You know? That way, they can't forget. That way, when they like, oh, yeah, Wolverine. It's funny because this is like really super widespread. Last thing. Because I think like the Spider-Man movie's coming out soon, right? Well, 31st. So this month. And people in the comments of the Spider-Man, I guess the Spider-Man video or whatever, were talking about the Sony physical disc issue. I'm like, oops, that's a crossover that I never thought that would happen. So anything that Sony does, anything that Sony's associated with it, people are going to go in, jump in, and be like, nah, nah, nah. That's what I like to see. I like it. Keep it up, my friends. This is what we got to do to slap these fools and let them know what's up. They're not going to change their minds, but hey, vote with your wallet. Don't buy their stuff. Just come over. You know what? It's greener over here on Xbox. It's literally greener. It's literally. I know I wear a lot of blue shirts, but don't get it twisted. I don't like blue. I like green. You see, look. You see that? You see that? Green in the reflection. Why? 'Cause that's what it is. I'm just saying. And yeah. So, but I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one. Till the weed.